That's why I am requesting you, please listen very carefully. This is the BAMCEF Golden Jubilee year. You are all know. Since its inception, that is from 1973 to this year, that is 2023, BAMCEF completed 50 years of journey of social movement in the public life. It is an historical incident in the history of Ambedkar social movement. In the history of Indian social movement, there are two notable social movements. One is pertaining to our social movement and other is our enemies' social movement. Both these movements are lasting up to more than 75 years. Our movement is Satya Sadak movement, which is started by our forefather Rashtrapita Jyotiba Phule during 1873, and it is run up to the Indian independence movement, that is up to 1947. So, this Satya Sadak movement lasts nearly 74 years of its existence. Gandhi merged all social movements in India into his freedom struggle movement. Due to this reason, the Satya Sadak Samaj merged with the Gandhian movement after 75 years. Regarding our enemies movement, that is RSS movement, it is started in 1925 and still it is going strong after completion of almost 100 years. Actually, it completed 98 years since its inception. The objective of their movement is to establish the real Brahman Raj. Actually, they achieved their objective during 1996 by establishing the A.B. Vajpayee government in the center. Still, they are effectively running their movement, social movement, to control the political affairs of the country. As far as our social movement is concerned, that is BAMCEF movement, I am telling you. I already told you, this year BAMCEF is completed 50 years of its social journey with so many obstacles, up and downs, crises, and also reforms and development of the organization. I am not going into the details of the obstacles, up and downs. Our colleagues, my senior colleagues already explained so many incidents. I am not going into the details of those obstacles, those crises again and again. So, during these 50 years of journey, BAMCEF made 15 national presidents to the organization. 15 national presidents. I think this is the right occasion and opportunity to name out all these 15 national presidents with their tenure. You are all well aware that our organization is established during 1973 and it is also mentioned in our present national convention pamphlet. The first or birth of the BAMCEF National Convention held during 1978 on December 6th at Boat Club, New Delhi. This is the 40th National Convention. But we are claiming this is the Golden Jubilee year for the BAMCEF organization. That means 50th year since inception. So from 1973 to 1977, there is a scientific study. I am telling you, you please listen. From 1973 to 1977, there is a scientific study about the society and about to run the Full Ambedkarite movement. During all these 5 years, the founders of the BAMCEF organization toured the entire country to the nook and corner of all states. They met the followers and admirers of our forefathers and invited them to run the Full Ambedkarite movement on all India basis. After acquiring the social knowledge and analyzing the scientific study towards movement, they drafted the dialectics of the organization and some inputs and values to the movement. So the founders of the BAMCEF movement are one, M.N. D.K. Kapadesa. Number 2 is M.N. Kanshiramji. Number 3 is Dina Bana Sahib. Out of these great personalities, M.N. Kanshiramji made as the first national president of the BAMCEF organization. He conducted the affairs of the organization from 1978 to 1981. From 1982 to 1986, the organization is not in a position to conduct the conventions at national level due to some hindrances and obstacles in the internal matters of the organization. These internal matters already our colleagues already explained to you. So I am omitting all these incidents. Then after this period, that is from 1987 to till this year, the organization is running its activities with more enthusiastically and developed the organization to some desired objects. After Kanshiramji, M.N. Tejendra Singh Jalli chosen as the national president, his tenure is from 1987 to 1991. M.N. S.F. Gangadhar took the charge as the national president of the organization from 1992 to 1995. Then M.N. Ashok Dogra discharged his duties for 1 year, that is in 1996, as our national president of the BAMCEF organization. After him, the founder of the BAMCEF organization, M.N. D.K. Kapadesa, took the responsibility of running the movement as national president of the BAMCEF organization from 1997 to 1999. The founder of the BAMCEF organization, having opportunity to work as the national president after 14 years. This is the democracy, this is the institutionalization of the organization, you mind this point. So after Kapadesav's sad demise, M.N. Vaman Mishram chosen as the president of our BAMCEF organization from the tenure 2000 to 2003. M.N. B. Walker, who has introduced the system of democratic functioning in the organization, led the BAMCEF from 2003 to 2007. During his tenure, he also wants to set right the system of accounts in our organization in an organizational manner. After his tenure, M.N. Chandu Maske and M.N. S.S. Dammi made as national president of the BAMCEF organization from 2008 to 2010 respectively. The person who wants to institutionalize the organization in all respects and who wants to mingle with the cadre irrespective of their functional position in the organization. That personality is none other than M.N. Ashok D. Parma, took the charge as the national president of the BAMCEF organization from 2011 to 2012. After Ashok Parmar ji, M.N. Dayaram Saab, M.N. S.R. Maurya Saab selected as the national presidents from 2013 to 2014 and 2015 to 2016 respectively. M.N. D.R. Arya, who toured the country extensively for field work during his tenure, that is from 2017 to 2019, made as national president of the BAMCEF organization. Then myself, that is N. Gangadhar, who chosen as the national president of the BAMCEF during pandemic corona period, that is from 2020 to 2021. Actually, I plan to organize the uncovered states and union territories, particularly the 8 states of northeastern area, by visiting these places during my tenure. But most unfortunately, I am not in a position to move to anywhere due to these bad corona conditions. My tenure is ended with no work, no output. Next, our present national president, M.N. Nitin Galorkar, selected as the national president of the BAMCEF organization from 2022 to 2023. So I may be bored all of you by analyzing the tenures and working periods of all our national presidents, but it is necessary and inevitable to me to explain all these incidents because this is our 50th year of BAMCEF inception. So during all these 50 years of our experience with the society in general, but with the organizational in particular, we must tender our great acknowledgements and kind gratitude towards some great personalities like M.N. Kanshiramji, M.N. Dinabana Sahib, M.N. D.K. Kapade Sahib, as the founders of our great organization BAMCEF. Similarly, the persons like D.K. Kapade Sahib and M.N. S.F. Gangavane Sahib, who has visionary thinking and had a capacity of giving direction to the cadre in every time, and well-wishers who are contributing their money and mind throughout all these years, and similarly the persons like M.N. B.D. Barkar Sahib and M.N. Ashok Parmar Sahib, who have vehemently tried to institutionalize the organization in some areas, and all the activists who are the members of the past and present CEC, all the SCC and DEC members shall get these great acknowledgements from the organization on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee year of the BAMCEF organization.
Golden Jubilee.
Huh?
Golden Jubilee.
Yeah, sorry, Golden Jubilee. And the Golden Jubilee year of the BAMCEF organization. Change of the system, social change, eradication of the caste system, eradication of the Brahminism is the sole and whole objective of our organization. On this point, we are working since the last 50 years to reach this objective or to complete this revolutionary work. We have chosen a concept of payback to the society. In the initial days of the BAMCEF organization, that is first 15 to 20 years of the BAMCEF work, we are very particular and we worked and focused on this concept, that is payback to the society concept. But nowadays, we are neither concentrating on this concept nor even introducing it to the newly recruited cadre. Still, we are very committed to this concept, and through this concept only we can mobilize the human resources to some extent. The leadership of each generation has to operate in a given situation to organize the available resources and prevailing identity to achieve our objectives. So, we have to revive this concept again to the grassroots level and make this as a tool to reach our target. Our mentor, philosopher, guide and visionary D.K. Kapadesa once said that creating cadre or creating people who can think is a sort of revolution. So for this revolutionary work, the concept of payback to the society shall be revived at this moment. We require not only the human resources but also the financial resources to accomplish the objective of social revolution, that is social change. Lord Buddha could succeed and accomplish his goal of social revolution because he had developed a competent human resources in the form of Bhikkhu Sangha. Similarly, we shall concentrate to develop the competent human resources, that is cadre, for reaching out our objective. These competent cadre automatically produce the financial resources for the movement. For this purpose, we have to work with utmost commitment and also with missionary spirit. The commitment comes from the sense of sacrifice. Sacrificing our time, sacrificing our talent, sacrificing our money, sacrificing our strength, sacrificing our sweat, sacrificing everything related to ourselves without measuring the merits of how much we are sacrificing. This is called commitment. So, the committed people and the people with moral values and honesty having the responsibility of running the full Ambedkar movement. So, we should support such people in the public life for social progress to enhance the movement. Our forefathers like Rashtrapita Phule and Babasaheb Ambedkar have desired to bring social transformation in the society. For this, we have to achieve the social polarization, and it can be possible only by propagating the ideology of Mulyavasi concept, developing the intellectual front, understand the dynamics of the organization and the dynamics of the movement is must at this juncture. So as to plan the effective strategies in realizing our objective. If we give proper training to these intellectual front, they will be equipped with latest knowledge on the subject matter confronting our objective. Since the last 50 years, we are not concentrating in mingling with the masses of our society. BAMCEF is purely attaching to the employees of the Bahujan Samaj. The offshoot wings of the BAMCEF organization are somewhat touching with the masses, but it is not sufficient to bring the success to the movement. Without understanding the problems and ground realities of the masses, it may not be possible for BAMCEF to integrate masses with the employees, and without their integration, it cannot bring any success to the movement. It is a discussionable point that if we want to build a strong nationwide Phule Ambedkar movement, it is inevitable to maintain coordination and cooperation with the local Mulyavasi organizations. Previously, it is not the practice with the organization. During my tenure as the national president, we formed one nationwide organization in the name of NCC-MBO, that is National Coordination Committee of Mulyavasi Bahujan Organizations. Recently, in the name of BS4, we conducted a very successful rally in the Nagpur city with the cooperation and coordination of all such Mulyavasi organizations. As per our BAMCEF understanding, we can fight against Brahminism through this type of strong All India organization. For that purpose only, we have planned to mingle with the all Mulivasi organizations in the country. Bringing unity among these Mulivasi organizations is must. Unity is certainly a solution to fight against Brahmanism, but creating the sectarian unity is never going to solve our problems. Today's necessity is of ideological unity and not of sectarian unity. Unity is not possible without strengthening principles and values. Principles are the key factors of organizing the society and as well as the Mulivasi Bahujana organizations also. But bringing unity and establishing the principles and values in Mulivasi Bahujana organization is a very gigantic task, but it is not an impossible task. On the occasion of this 50th year of BAMCEF formation, we would like to take some crucial decisions and want to fix ourselves to the values and principles set by the founders of the BAMCEF organization. The objective, the ideology, the dialectics, the concept shall not be changed at any cost. They are fixed one. Now, I want to touch the matter with the institutionalization. Institutionalizing the organization will certainly increase the growth of the movement. Since 1978, the organization introduced so many things and most of them were followed by the cadre with great respect, pride and with humble nature. Actually, what is meant by institutionalization? How should any organization can be called or named as an institutionalized one? The actions which were introduced by the organization, I am repeating, you please listen carefully. What is institutionalization? The actions which were introduced by the organization shall be established with convention is to be named as the institutionalization. The base, directions and actions are to be inculcated whenever necessary shall be followed by the cadre in the due course of time without further remainders of the organization. This is called Samsthagatikkarana. Samsthagata. In Telugu also it is called as Samsthagata Charitra. Samsthagatikkarana, that is institutionalization. There are so many organizations are existing in our country. Rather, lakhs of organizations are functioning in this country. Out of these, only few can be termed as the institutionalized. Our organization is also an institutionalized one in some areas, not in all areas, in some areas, and needs to be institutionalized in other areas also. If we are in a position to formulate our BAMCEF organization into a full-shape institutionalized organization, then the growth of the movement will increase automatically and the objective set by the organization will be reached very soon. Let us look into the areas where the organization of the BAMCEF establishing the actions to the cadres to follow. Number one, that is field work. Field work is most essential action for a cadre to follow for creating and molding the ordinary people into a somewhat ideological person. So, every cadre of our organization must follow this action and do field work for the organizational movement. Field work for arranging cadre camps, field work for enrollment of membership. So this work of field work action is got institutionalized. It is already institutionalized by our organization. I will tell you some of the actions which are already made institutionalized in the organization. Conducting of state conventions and national conventions, periodical subscription of the monthly magazines, propagation of the Phule Ambedkar ideology, Ideological slogans like Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Bharat, Jai Samvidhan, it is also institutionalized. Democratic functioning in the organization. This action is introduced in the year 2003 and it is now institutionalized in the organization, democratic functioning of the organization. So displaying our forefathers' portraits like Phule and Babasaheb Ambedkar in the organizational functions, flag hoisting at the start of the convention or seminars, singing of national anthem, that is BAMCEF official song, taking of BAMCEF pledge and wearing of BAMCEF uniform with the MVF badges during functions. These are some of the actions which the cadre used to do with utmost discipline and respect. So, these actions are to be termed as institutionalized actions. But some actions are yet to be institutionalized in our organization. For example, the system of accountability, both financially and individually, shall be channelized. This is the number one action to be institutionalized in our organization. That is, system of accountability, both in finance and as well as individual. Individual accountability and financial accountability should be institutionalized in our organization. This is the number one point. Next point is, these two actions that shall be checked and got to be institutionalized. Next, and the recruitment of the full-timers shall be made periodically. This is also very important, very important point. I am time and again I am telling to our cadre and to our organization, the recruitment of the full-timers shall be made periodically. This action shall be initiated at the earliest in the organization and should be got institutionalized. Monthly financial contribution to the organization by all the members and the cadres. Monthly contribution should be institutionalized. Whatever you want, you should give to the organization monthly contribution. This should be institutionalized. This action must be institutionalized at any cost. It must be cultivated in the minds of the cadre to upgrade the momentum of the movement to desired levels. Regarding of Mulnivasi literature, reading of Mulnivasi literature every day. This is also very important. Reading of Mulnivasi literature. It must be created a habit to every cadre to enrich their knowledge and to well equipped with the latest knowledge. Systematic fieldwork in periodical sense as stated in overall implemental strategies of the Phule Ambedkar movement. Systematic fieldwork. Regarding fieldwork, we are systematically designed how to get the fieldwork done in areas level, district level, state level, and even to the CEC members also, SCC members also. How the fieldwork shall be done. It is narrated in the overall implemental strategies of the Phule Ambedkar movement. That should be followed and that should be institutionalized. So, next point is systematic fieldwork. That is already I have told you. Next, system of discipline is to be cultivated in the framework of the organization. There is no discipline in our organization. This is the lacuna, we should accept it. There is no discipline. So discipline, system of discipline is to be cultivated in the framework of the organization. And last but not the least, which is very important, that is the periodical training at training institute, that is at Nagpur. So all these actions to be institutionalized at the earliest. Already 7 points I told you that institutionalized. 7 points. I already told 12 points about already institutionalized actions. I already told you. So that is no problem. But 7 points where we must got institutionalized, there are 7 areas. That is, once again I am repeating, that first point is system of accountability, both financially and individually. That is number one point. Again I am repeating. Next point is recruitment of the full-timers periodically. That is second point. Next, monthly financial contribution to the organization. That is third point. And next point is reading of Mulyavasi literature. That is to be institutionalized at any cost, to enrich our knowledge, to face our enemy systematically and scientifically. Without knowing the knowledge, without enrich our knowledge, it is not possible. This is the fourth point. And systematic field work, that is already narrated in the overall implemental strategies of the Phule Ambedkar movement. And the fifth, sixth point is system of discipline to be cultivated in the framework of the organization. Then seventh point is periodical training at the Training Institute Nagpur. These seven definitely to be institutionalized to our cadre in our organization. So far, so the cadre who follows the actions designed by the organization. I am repeating you, the cadre who follows the actions designed by the organization without insisting them by anybody, that those actions were systematically implemented in the organization. This is called process of institutionalization. After getting all these actions institutionalized, then handing over of all movement related or organizational things to the next generation is to be done. Ours is the cadre based, mass based and broad based organization. Broad in the sense its functioning, its networking is spread out throughout India. BAMCEF objective is also a nature of long-term objective. So if the organization is on the lines of institutional mode, then the desired objective of the organization gets its own movement to reach its logical end. So the handing over of the organization in the eve of the 50th year of the organizational inception, I am telling you, handing over of the organization or handing over of the movement to the next generation in an institutional mode is must. So that is the durability of the organization and also the movement is ascertained. So I request all the cadres and activists and also the senior functionaries of the organization on this occasion of this silver jubilee year that they must be stick to the principles, values and morals set by our founders and the visionaries. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Mulyavasi, Jai Bharat, Jai Sanvidan.